Hello guys, and welcome back to another Bukkit plugin tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Kit plugin. This plugin gets a little more advanced, but it's not super advanced, so I think you guys can handle it. So, first thing we want to go ahead and do is create an object to represent our kits, because that is the best way of doing everything, is using objects. Object-oriented coding is the best, let me tell you. Anyways, we're going to name this just Kit, and I don't know why that happened, but we're going to put it back right there. So in this class, we're going to have a few things. A kit is going to have a name, which is a string. And then it's also going to have an inventory, which will hold all the items for said kit. And then we're going to pass in an instance of our Java plugin, so we can use that when creating this kit. So I'm going to create a constructor here for our kit class. In this constructor, we're going to want to pass through all those fields that we defined just now. We'll name this items, not item. And then boom, there we go. Alright, and then in here we can just do a little bit of this. We can do this dot name, this dot items, going to be equal to items, and this dot Java or plugin is going to equal plugin. And there we go, we have our constructor done just like that. We only need to add two simple easy fields here, or methods rather, is get name and get items. Or we don't need this Java plugin because I'm actually not going to be saving the kits. If you want to know how to save kits to a file and serialize it, I don't have a serialization tutorial, but I have a tutorial on object files, and it's called file configuration. I'll have a card on screen and a link down in the description for you. So if you need help saving kits to a file, then that should help you there. And I can have a link to Spigot's deserialization and serialization tutorials in the description as well. So if you need help saving kits to a file, like saving the actual items to the file, that can help you out there. Anyways, that is all for our kit class. We can get rid of this plugin too. We don't need that. So it's very simple. If you wanted a delay or permission or anything, you could add that in here too, or you could just use the name of the kit for the permission. It doesn't matter. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get over to the command part. So the first thing you want to do is create a command to actually create the kits, because if we don't have a kit, we can't give ourselves a kit. So that's the first step. That's the first thing we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to do in here is create a variable for our player's inventory. So we can go ahead and create an inventory named player inventory, and we can just do player.getInventory just like that. It's pretty easy. And then we're going to make a string for that's going to represent our kit name, because since the args leg is 2, it's going to be /kit create and then space and then the name of the kit. So this is going to be our second argument, which is argument 1, because 0 is argument 1 and 1 is argument 2. I know it's weird, but it's just how it is. Anyways, the next thing we're going to do is create an inventory for our kit. So we're going to create an inventory here, kit inventory, and we have to do this via a Bukkit method. We can't just type in new inventory. That's not how this works. It has to do it on the server side. So for the owner, we're going to put null because there's no owner for this inventory. And then we're going to do 45 for the size, so that's the same size as the player's inventory. And then for the name, we can do kit name because I already made the argument right there. And then the next thing we want to do is create a little for loop. So we're going to have a for loop right here, and then we're going to make it start at 0. And it's going to go all the way until it reaches the same size as our inventory for our kit. Or no, for our player. Sorry, we're looping through the player inventory. Alright, and then we're going to increase by 1 every time. So the first thing we want to do is create a variable for the current item that we are selecting. So I'm going to do item stack, and then current item is going to be equal to player inventory dot get item, and then we're going to get the item we're currently on, which is I. And then after this, we want to check to see if the item is null or if it's equal to error, because if it is one of those things, then we want to go ahead and skip to the next one. So we can do if current item is equal to null, or current item dot get type is equal to error. Then we want to continue the loop. Alright, so next thing we want to do is we want to actually put the item in the inventory. But before we do this, I want to make another variable up here for something we'll use in a second called empty. So we're going to make a boolean empty, and we're going to set this to true for now. And then whenever, so after this run, so after it makes sure that there's an item in the slot, we're going to set empty to false, so that whenever we're down here out of the for loop, we can do something else. I'll show you guys what we're going to do there. So we can do if empty, then we want to go ahead and set empty to false because it's no longer empty. And then we can go ahead here and set and put our item inside of the kit. So we can do kit inventory dot set item. We can do I for the item slot we're currently on. We don't have to do I. You could just make it the first slot that's empty. So what you would do was do kit inventory dot first empty. You could do that. But let's say you wanted to retain the positions of all the items. You could do this. But whenever you're giving the player the items, just make sure not to replace anything they already have. But I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to do it just like this. So I'm going to put the current item inside their inventory. Alright, so that empty thing I was talking about, yeah, we're going to use that right now. So if the kit is empty, then we want to go ahead and send the player a message, or their inventory is empty, then we want to send the player a message that they have no items in their inventory to contribute to the kit. So to do this, we just need to send them a little message that says no items detected. That's fine, I guess. And then we can go ahead and return, because we don't want anything else to run if they don't have any items. Anyways, so now we know for a fact that the kit is not empty. So what I'm going to do here to store kits is I'm going to store them just right up here inside a list. And I was going to put list of kits, and I'm going to name this kits. There we go. Alright. And then down here we want to initialize that variable. So we can do kits, or first we should check to see if it's empty. So we can do if kits is null. Then we want to set kits to a new array list. And there we go. Alright, now we can set the kit into there. So we can do kits.add, and then we need to make a new kit here for our kit we just made. So we can do new kit, or sorry, we have to do kit. We have to define a variable first. Kit. We can do new kit. And then the name of this kit is going to be did we already make a variable? Yeah, kit name was the variable. Or did we already make? No, okay, that was an inventory. I thought we already made a kit for a second. I was like, what am I doing? Anyways, we're going to do the kit name first. Then after the kit name comes the inventory, right? Yes, the kit inventory, and that was it. Yeah, just those two variables. Cool. Alright guys, sorry about that. I'm back. And we're just going to go ahead and add our kit we just created to that list of kits that we made. Alright. So after that, we want to go ahead and send the player a message to let them know that the kit has been created. And then we can go ahead and put the kit name. There we go. And then we can return true. And if you were saving the kits to a file, you would want to save the kit right here, right after this. You want to save it here, or wherever, just somewhere at the end. Alright, so now for the next part, you want to be giving people kits. So the first thing we want to do is check to see if a kit exists. So we're going to have a couple things here. We're going to have a boolean called exists, and we're going to set this to false to begin with. And then we're going to have a kit variable, and it's going to be set to null for right now. And then we're going to go ahead and loop through all of the kits inside of the list kit. So what we need to do is do kit, and we can name this kit current kit. We can loop through all the kits in kits. Right. So the first thing we want to do is see if the name of the kit is equal to the name of the kit that the player typed in. So to do this, we can check to see, oh, that's not what I meant to do. Alright, if current kit dot get name, then we can check to see if it equals, without checking the case, the same thing as what the player typed in. And then if this is the case, then we want to set exists to true. We can also set the kit to the current kit, and then we can break out of this loop. Alright, so that just makes sure that the kit exists and that we don't have any errors there. So another way you could do this is, instead of saving the kit inside of a list, like I did here, you can save it in a hash map where the string is the key, which is also the name of the kit, and then the key is the, what's the other thing? The key in the second part of the hash map. I can't remember the name exactly right now, but you know what I mean. The value, that's it. The key and the value. Alright, anyways. After we know for a fact this exists, or no, we don't know for a fact yet. We need to check to see if it exists still. So we can do if the kit does not exist, then we want to send a player message saying invalid kit. And we can go ahead and return there. Alright, and now we know for a fact that the kit does indeed exist. And now we can go ahead and give the player a kit, because we know for a fact that the kit does exist, and I just said that. Okay. So the first thing we want to do here is go to inventory, and we can go ahead and name this kit inventory, and we're going to get all the items from our kit. And then we can go ahead and loop through all those items by looping through every slot in the inventory. By setting this to 0, I is less than the kit inventory size. And then we want to increase I every single time. So the first thing we want to do is see if the first thing we should do is see if the player slot has an empty or available, if the player's inventory has an available slot. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, so we want to make a variable for the player's inventory, and we're going to put it inside the loop, because the player's inventory is going to change every single time we put an item in it. So we can do inventory player inventory is equal to player.getInventory. There we go. It's that simple. And then we can go ahead and make an integer that's called slot, and we can go ahead and name this player inventory dot. We want to get the first empty slot. Now, if there is no empty slots, it will return a -1. So we want to make sure that that is not the case. So we're going to say if slot is equal to -1, we're going to say player.sendMessage, and then we can go ahead and say no more inventory space sad face. Okay, and then we can do return true. Okay, so now we know after this if statement, we know for a fact that the player does indeed have an empty slot, so we can go ahead and give them an item. So if you were putting the kits in the same, or the items in the same exact location as they were whenever you created the kit, instead of doing int slot, you would take the slot of the item, which I'll show you how to get in a second, and then you would see if there's an item in that slot in the player's inventory, and if there is, then you would get the first empty slot and put the item in that slot instead. Alright, hope that makes sense. So the first thing we're going to do is player inventory dot set item, and then we're going to put the item in the slot. And then we need to make an item variable. I forgot to do that. So we're going to do item stack current item. It's going to be kit inventory dot get item I. Right. Nice. And now we can go ahead and put the item in there. Cool. Very nice. Also, the slot, as I mentioned earlier, is just I. I forgot we were in the if statement and we were doing that. So you can just put I for the slot if you're doing it in the same exact spot. Okay, so after this for loop runs now, because that's all we need to do in the for loop, we can go ahead and send the player a message. Received kit name. There we go. And that's all, guys. We did it. Once again, if you need help with serialization, link will be in the description. But I'll go ahead and hop in the test server and show you guys what we made. Alright guys, we are in the game now, and we can go ahead and run this command. So the first thing we want to do is, hold on, I still have all this stuff in my inventory from the free dirt. You know what, we'll make a free dirt kit. You know, I just don't want all the slots to be full. They can be, but just to show you that it works. So we can do /kit create dirt. And look at that, we successfully created a kit named dirt. And then if we go ahead here and get rid of all those items, we can do kit dirt, and it says received kit. Did I spell received wrong? Alright, we're going to ignore that. Anyways, you can see I have all the items we just put in the kit. And everything is all good in the hood. So if you guys enjoyed or learned something, make sure you leave a like down below. And I will catch you next time. Let me know if you have any recommendations for video ideas or anything you need help with. Let me know that too down in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.